Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bright Ideas Daily Nugget, a daily video where I answer your questions as well as give you the opportunity to look over my shoulder as I grow my e-commerce company from the roughly $2.5 million a year where we're at now to $10 million a year and hopefully well beyond that. In today's video, which you can find at Brightideas.co/nugget006, I want to expand on what I talked about yesterday, which was building funnels to sell products outside of the Amazon channel. Since I watched the video that I linked you to in yesterday's video, I've been doing a lot of thinking and building a model, which I want to walk you through. Because when you are going to go down this path, there's a couple of really important things that you need to take into account in your planning. Thing number one is you're going to fail the first time. Unless you're just the bolt of lightning of luck strikes you, chances are pretty good that your first funnel is not going to be a profitable one. So let me just give you some insights into what I've been thinking, and I'll go through the numbers in the model and so forth. So initially I was thinking that this would be a great way to generate revenue from the existing wholesale brands that you're selling on Amazon. And that might be true. Testing will bear that out. But what I think is maybe more likely is this could be a great avenue to take the private label product approach, simply because the margins are so much higher. And the reason I arrived at that conclusion is when I watched Trey Llewellyn in his video, the products that he was using were traditional private label stuff. And so to acquire a private label product, for most people, they go and they do all this product research and they take a bunch of time, and then they get some samples, and then they get some, ultimately they place an order. And this is what I did in the very, very beginning of my e-commerce business. But that can be relatively expensive. So key thing number one, I need to be able to fail cheaply. Because if you fail at a cost that takes you out of the game, boom, all your bullets are gone, you're done, you can't play anymore, that's no good. I'm assuming I'm probably going to fail 4, 5, 6 times. In other words, I'll build 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 different funnels until I hit on a combination that works for me, and now I can really hit the ad spend gas pedal and make that go. So I thought to myself, all right, what would the math look like, and what would these failures cost? So I went and did some assumptions, and I just want to walk you through those because you might want to build a similar spreadsheet for yourself. So let's start at the top. Let's assume that in an experiment, I'm going to spend $1,500 on ads. Let's assume that on average I'm going to pay $2 a click, and let's assume on average that my front end conversion rate is 20%. So, and you're going to use a free plus shipping offer. So basically you're going to have this ad, you're going to run it on Facebook. It's going to send people to a squeeze page. It's going to say, hey, get this thing for free if you pay for the shipping. And then you're going to have a bump, which is basically a little checkbox, which ClickFunnels allows you to do to take the first upsell. Then they're going to complete that. They're going to see another upsell. And then if they don't buy that, they're going to see a downsell. So let's walk through it all. So $1,500 ad spend, $2 a click, 20% conversion. That would get me 150 new customers on the front end, which would equate to a cost per conversion just for the ad spend of $10. I'm going to assume that each time I ship something, because they're all going to be relatively small, it's going to cost me $5.95, but the customer is going to pay for that cost of shipping because we're going to charge them $7.95. And I'm assuming that I'm going to have to buy this thing that I'm going to be giving away on the front end for $10. So whatever it is on the front, maybe it's going to be a jackknife, this, that, the other thing, $10. And then I'm going to assume that my bump conversion rate would be 25%. My upsell conversion rate 10%, and my downsell conversion rate 5%. And on those products, I'm going to assume that I'm basically buying them off of Amazon or wherever, and I'm marking them up I'm gonna have a 20% gross margin. So again, the purpose here of these experiment funnels is not so much to generate a profit per se, but to prove that all the numbers work if your costs were low enough, so that then you can go and place an order and get a large number of products at a much lower cost. So with those numbers, each time I spent $1,500 on ads and I acquired 150 customers, assuming that it was a failure in that my cost to acquire a customer, or COCA as it's called, in this case would be $15.50. So that obviously is not scalable. I can't go and spend $100,000 a month on ads if each time I acquire a customer, it's costing me $15. But for the purpose of an experiment, if my COCA ends up being $15, that means the failure will have cost me $2,300 to $2,500. So that's what I wanted to figure out. I wanted to figure out, okay, I know I'm going to fail my first couple of times. How many times can I fail until the financial pain is too great that I would want to give up? And that's kind of like my whole purpose of this video, is to get you thinking in terms of, because too many people, they try and they think, I gotta be successful on my first attempt, and you're just not gonna be. It's just not gonna happen. Each experiment, you should think of it as a training course. So at $2,500 per experiment or per class, if I'm willing to throw 20 grand at this, which I'm perfectly willing to do, I can fail up to 8 times. Now, chances are each time I fail, I'm going to learn some things which are going to help me to be more successful in subsequent experiments. And then ultimately, when you figure it out and you've got your first funnel that's making you money, which I fully expect within $20,000 of tuition, I will have achieved that, you can now start throwing advertising dollars, literally an unlimited amount of advertising dollars at that funnel, as much as it'll take given the size of the market that you're going after. And now you're in a different position, because now you've got profits to fund the next experiment and the next experiment and the next experiment. So I hope that some of what I've shared with you in this video has sunk in. I hope that you're going to be off building spreadsheets and thinking about, well, I don't necessarily have to be successful in my first attempt. If you would like to, for a couple of things, housekeeping now, if you like the video and you're watching it on YouTube and you want more, click subscribe. If you'd like to submit a question to me, you can go to Brightideas.co and become a subscriber. When you do, you'll get an invite to our private Facebook mastermind group. There's no charge to be a member, and you can post your question there, and chances are you'll get an answer right away because there's almost 1,000 people in that group now. And I look at it for the best questions, and those are the questions that I'd like to answer in subsequent videos. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please give it a like, share, comment, thumbs up, whatever you would prefer. And if you want notifications, as I mentioned, of future podcasts or future videos, or you want to be on the inner circle when I launch business systems or whatever it is, just make sure you come over to Brightideas.co and become a subscriber. Last but not least, this is the last Daily Nugget for 2017. I will be on hiatus for the remainder of the Christmas holidays. I'd like to wish you and your family Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you have a great time. Hope you enjoy your time off, because that's exactly what I'm planning to do. And we will be back in January with the Daily Nugget, and we'll continue on to answer your questions, as well as to give you a look over the shoulder as I take all these experiments that I'm going to do and hopefully turn it into an e-commerce company that goes from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to $60 million and beyond in a very short period of time. But of course, all of that remains to be seen. Thanks very much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.